Okay, the last talk for today. Thank you for coming. Uh, my name is Sergey. I'm a WordPress core contributor for Yoast, co-founder of Russian WordPress community, and I'm also working on WordPress polyglot support and meta teams. I've been working remotely for the last 12 years, and today I'll talk about being productive while working remotely. It seems obvious that you should always pick a job that you like and can easily stay motivated doing, but it's even more important when you work remotely. When you work from home or any other location and on your own schedule, you will need more motivation than when you're sitting in an office. If you're just about to start working remotely, make sure to go for the right job straight away. Go for something that you love doing and are passionate about. It will help you so much staying motivated and productive throughout the day. Working from home means that you can work from your bedroom, the living room couch, or the kitchen counter. But having inconsistent places to work can lead to inconsistent work patterns, leaving you stressed and dreading work. Additionally, working from a couch or bed is not good for your health. A desk and a comfortable chair will help you be more efficient. It's definitely worth investing in decent equipment when you're about to start working remotely. Think of devices such as a laptop, phone, headphones, mouse, a keyboard, a mobile hotspot, and so on. If your equipment is reliable and has a good quality, your working life will profit a lot from it. Some other tips are to organize your desk to avoid losing time and eliminate distractions. Create a playlist to help you concentrate on work. Add more light and fresh air into the room, and basically anything that makes the mini office cozy and comfortable would be great. I have a Lego figure of my colleague Omar to help me focus. How you start your day often determines how you end it. If you check social networks immediately after you wake up, there's a good chance that behavior will carry over to the rest of your day. There are some habits that can help you start your days right. If you make your bed every morning, you will have accomplished the first task of the day, and it will give you a small sense of pride, and it will encourage you to do another task. This might sound boring, but drinking enough water can have a pretty big impact on productivity. Drinking a glass of water right after waking up takes care of two problems. It kickstarts your metabolism and helps you meet the recommended goal of 3 liters of water per day. You also have the willpower and fewer distractions early in the morning. By tackling your tasks as soon as possible, after you wake up, you'll avoid the desperate last-minute rush to get things done. Working from home can feel isolating, and you might feel taunted by overflowing laundry baskets and watched Netflix episodes and things like that. If you were in an office, you might not feel as tempted to stray from your work. Also, it's easier to fall into a routine of mundanity, and sometimes all it takes is a change of scenery. For that, there is a technique called the Workstation Popcorn. List everything you need to do today. Try to be as specific as you can. Ensure that each item on your list is a clear action rather than a vague intention. By the end of the day, you want to be able to look back at each item and say, yes, I did it, or no, I didn't do it. If you're not quite sure, if you'd be able to say yes or no at the end of the day, you're not being specific enough. And next, break that list into 3 sections. These sections should be equal in terms of how much time they are likely to take to complete. If you're not sure how long a task will take, try to guess. It's okay, you don't have to get it spot on. Next, find at least 3 different locations to work from that are outside your house. Some of the criteria might be a good coffee or tea, space to work, and outlet availability and Wi-Fi. You can find more locations later, but 3 would be enough to start. Now that you've done all the lead work, the next part is pretty simple. Go to cafe number 1, start working on action item group number 1. It's important to only focus on the items from action group number 1. Once you finish all the tasks in this group, get up and move, close your tabs, pack your bags, and physically move to your next spot. If you can walk or bike to your next spot, the physical activity is important here. Use this time to take a break from your screen and get some movement into your day. Keep your phone in your pocket and move. Take a break from work for at least 30 minutes. When you get to the next cafe, start on the next action item group and repeat. Do this until everything on your list is done. When you've completed everything on your list for the day, you are done working, you can relax, kick back and live your life. Obviously, you can choose to do more or fewer tasks at each cafe. The point is to divide the tasks into 3 categories that take approximately the same amount of time. 3 is usually a good number because with just 3 tasks ahead of you, it's hard to get overwhelmed. In our never-ending search for how to be more productive, to-do lists are one of the foundational tools. However, they also have some serious drawbacks, making them a major tool of procrastination. They create a paradox of choice. It's easier for us to make decisions and act when there are fewer choices from which to choose. Looking at 58 items on your to-do list will either paralyze you or send you into default mode of checking email for an hour instead of doing real work. The items on the list are different in complexity and priority. When your list contains some tasks that are 10 minutes long and some are 10 hours long, you invariably focus on the shorter ones for the psychological payoff that comes from crossing an item off your list. That means that some of those tasks will wait for a long, long time. To-do lists don't provide sufficient context for the tasks that help you determine what you should work on. All tasks look the same, 3 or 4 words on a line, but it doesn't capture or display the vital bits of information you need, how long each task will take, and more importantly, how much time do you have available. If you can't answer these questions, you cannot intelligently decide what you should be working on. Of course, many people find that to-do lists help them be more productive. Finding the perfect productivity system for your own life is the first step in figuring out how to get more done in a day. Whether you use a to-do list or not is up to you. But I would encourage you to consider how you might be more productive by making the following changes to your daily productivity. The idea is simple. Take your tasks off the to-do list and estimate how long they will take and move them to your calendar. Scheduling tasks, not just using your calendar as a to-do list, has a lot of benefits. Many people find that actually seeing dedicated time for specific activities makes them more likely to do those tasks and stay focused. Others report that it keeps them from trying to schedule too much in a day. Having a visual reminder of how many things you're working on will help you prioritize your current projects and figure out whether you can say yes to new tasks. Deciding which item to handle at what time overcomes the paradox of choice, provides the context of deadlines and other commitments, and provides a soft commitment device to help you do the right thing at the right time. If you're interested in personal productivity, you may have heard of Getting Things Done by David Allen. It's a productivity system designed to move every task, idea, and project that's currently in your head into an organized outside system. While the entire GTD system is worth diving into, it contains one often overlooked strategy that can massively improve your productivity, focus, and time management, the 2-minute rule. To understand the 2-minute rule, we first need to understand how it fits into GTD. In a nutshell, the system comes down to 5 steps. Capture all the things you need to keep up with in one place. Your first step with GTD is to create a central repository for all your to-dos, ideas, emails, and anything else that needs to be dealt with. You can use whatever tool you want for this, maybe a basic notebook. Just pick something that works with your current workflow and easy enough to fill out on the fly. Qualify the things you have to do. Once you've captured an item, the next step is to break it down into the easiest next step. So instead of write a blog post, you might say write an outline for a blog post. If you can do something quickly, under 2 minutes, do it right away. If you can delegate the task, do that as well. Organize your action number items by category and priority. Each task should have a due date where applicable, priority and category. You're not actually doing any of the items on your list right now, but making sure that there's no friction once you want to start. The first step is to reflect on your list. If you've spent time clarifying properly, you should know what can be done in the time and energy you currently have. Give your list an in-depth review periodically to see whether you're making progress and where you need to adjust it. The last step is to engage or get to work. Choose your next action from the list and get to it. At this point, your system will be broken down by priority, category, and due dates. And each new thing that comes your way goes onto the list and out of your head. It means no more keeping up. There's a lot more to GTD than just those 5 steps. However, let's focus right now on step 2. During the clarification process, Alan suggests that if a task takes less than 2 minutes, then do it right now. 2 minutes is mostly an arbitrary number. What's really being suggested here is that if the effort to keep remembering a task is more than just getting it out of the way now, then do it. One of the reasons that to-do lists fill up so quickly is that we often put tons of small tasks on there. That's when things start getting overwhelmed and we get stressed. One of the best methods for dealing with this problem is to follow the 2-minute rule. If a task will take less than 2 minutes, don't put it on a list and just do it. This will keep a great number of items off your list. Eventually you may find that you don't even need a list at all. 2-minute rule also helps us to declutter your mind. Instead of holding onto these potential tasks, you need to do at some point and get them out of the way so you can focus more on what matters. But more than just helping you focus, there are some additional benefits to finishing small tasks. Fixing things is empowering. There's a reason we feel satisfaction from doing simple tasks. Our confidence increases or decreases based on our ability to make progress. The more things we do, the more confident we become and the more we see ourselves as productive people. Any progress builds momentum, no matter how small the task is. Studies have shown that crossing it off your list gives you a boost of momentum and enhances your mood. Small steps turn into habits. When a task is easy to do and quickly completed, it's much easier to turn into a habit. Once you've started doing the right thing, it's much easier to continue doing it. One of the bigger problems you may have encounter when working remotely is procrastination. There's not quite enough time to go into details in this talk, but I would like to recommend 3 articles by Tim Urban on waitbytwhy.com. Why procrastinators procrastinate, how to beat procrastination, and the procrastination matrix. These articles explain quite comprehensively how to deal with procrastination using some lively characters such as rational decision maker, instant gratification monkey, and the panic monster. To track your progress, it's essential that we analyze our work, draw conclusions based on results, and reflect upon our productivity. If we are not doing this, then who is going to? A physical job is much easier from this point of view. All you have to do is show up at work and let your colleagues reflect upon your development and contribution. It's harder when working remotely. Here are some tips on how to analyze your daily improvement. Keep a log where you can make entries at the end of each day and track a time and how you spend it. There are some tools to help you with that, like the Rescue Time software. Make a schedule and write tasks down on your calendar. Recognize if there are things you could improve. If so, write them down as well. At the end of each week, take your log book and time tracking book and reflect upon your level of productivity. In remote work, staying connected is key. A good internet connection is obviously critical, but so is staying active and available via your company's chat channels. It shows that you're engaged even when working from home, but can also be good for your mental health. Make sure your colleagues know that what you're doing. Weekly recaps based on your task and time tracking logs can also help with that. Make sure you're on top of things and can reply in a timely manner. Speaking of mental health, it's a good idea to have a non-computer related hobby like playing in a band or playing chess or whatever. It's also really important to recognize signs of burnout and learn how to avoid it. It could be exhaustion, lack of motivation, frustration, cynicism, and other negative emotions, cognitive problems, frequent headaches, generally decreased satisfaction, chronic fatigue, insomnia, forgetfulness, impaired concentration and attention, anxiety. If you've recognized any of these symptoms, please take the appropriate steps to take care of yourself. Same goes for physical health. Even if you're working from the comfort of your own home, you still need some time away throughout the day. Take time for coffee breaks, walks around the block, long lunches with your loved ones, or even quick gym sessions. You return feeling more inspired than before. I'd like to share a couple of quotes from the book called "It Doesn't Have to Be Crazy at Work" by creators of the Basecamp company and software, Jason Fried and David Hannemeyer Hansen. The only way to get more done is to have less to do. Saying no is the only way to claw back time. Don't shuffle 12 things so you can do them in a different order. Don't set timers to move on from this or that. It's not time management, it's obligation elimination. People should be missing out. Most people should miss out on most things most of the time. And that's what they encourage at Basecamp, the joy of missing out. Thank you.
I very much appreciate everything you said, and it's crucial because working remotely creates a big trick. You may think that you're all the time at the house and that you can do whatever you want with your time, but you can easily end up being totally exhausted, constantly exhausted, and staying all day in front of the computer because you think you are free and you schedule your program however you want. So it was really, really great and helpful. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Let's say there is a crucial point that can justify the purpose of a new valuable work. What I mean is, let's say there is a crucial point where we decide that we need to use our time better. Mm-hmm. What do you think this crucial point would be?
For me, such a crucial point was when I noticed that I'm really more productive in the morning. So I became an early riser. I started to get up at 5 a.m. It was at the time I still worked in an office, but I had a few hours by myself to work on projects that I was interested about, and after that I quit the office and started working remotely full time. I think an advice would be just to recognize what are you spending the time on, and what you should be spending time on. What do you want to be spending more time on? You need to make a conscious decision to spend time on things that you want to do, and not just things that take time, like TV or something like that.
May I add something?
Yeah, sure.
If you are in insomnia, this is a different situation, because you have no will to try. So how do you find a crucial point then? When you want to work on something, for example, and you are in insomnia, you may decide that whatever is the project you would like to work on, it's not valuable to you. You don't give value to any project. So what do you do then? Because insomnia is one of the points you said in the mental health slide.
Sorry, I couldn't quite get the question.
So insomnia is a problem, okay? So how do you fight insomnia when you work remotely? Because you don't want to do anything.
Yeah, okay. Insomnia is I think I experienced at some point. I think an advice my grandmother gave me, that if you can't sleep, then just get up and do something useful while you can, and then you'll be able to sleep at some point. So this works for me. There are some other techniques, like trying to count down from 100 in the reverse order slowly. That should also help you sleep. You can also try meditation to relax. It's